Poor air quality is so very detrimental to our health, and vehicles on our roads contribute to that poor air quality. But our regulations are set on the basis of the readings, the measurements of what those cars are emitting in laboratories. One of the key things that's emerged is the big gap that exists between what people believe our vehicles are doing in terms of the emissions they're creating and what they're actually doing. One of the big gaps when it comes to emissions is due to cheating on the tests. So FIA Foundation is supporting an initiative called the Real Urban Emissions Initiative, which is explicitly testing vehicles on the road in order to see what that gap is and to frame regulation, consumer choices, manufacturing processes that close it. The True Initiative has spent some time developing a rating system which looks at the real-world emissions of the vehicles on our roads and classifies them good, moderate and poor as to how far in excess they are of the required limits for vehicles.
It became very clear to us following the dieselgate scandal that independent data was going to be key to really holding the vehicle manufacturers to account and identifying the dirty models which are out on the road, and how we could start to assemble a database of tens of thousands of vehicles to actually tell people how clean their cars really are.
The dieselgate scandal brought the spotlight to the issue of air pollution and to some of the measures that car manufacturers are taking to avoid tough emission regulations. But for the FIA Foundation, it's been a long-term effort to try and get change to happen. With the True Initiative, with some of the partners that we've built up over the years, with huge technical expertise, working with cities like London and Paris to deliver data which shows the real impact of diesel emissions.
The True Initiative gives those cities data that's really valuable to help them introduce new policies in those cities to tackle those problems, but also to give their consumers the information so they can make informed decisions to purchase cleaner vehicles.
There is a growing interest among cities around the world to use real-world emissions to inform their public, inform their citizens, and to drive policy. And so cities can really learn from each other. Air pollution in the cities in Europe, in cities in India, in cities in China, in cities and regions in the United States, for example, all are very, very high. And the impacts on public health and children's health is very extreme. And so cities more and more interested in taking actions that are having significant and immediate impacts.
So what we want to see now is this expanding beyond our initial pilot cities of London and Paris and being taken to other parts of the world, particularly those cities and mega cities which are experiencing rapid motorisation, high levels of emissions, appalling effects on child health, and really begin to address policy in those places so that we can get the vehicle fleet right and also incentivise modal shift so that we encourage people to keep walking and cycling, encourage investment in public transport, because it's not only about tackling the vehicles, it's also about providing people with alternatives.
Air quality is a practical problem that can be and should be addressed, and in that way we'd start to get to grips with the kind of crisis that we face in some cities. If the water was as dirty as the air that people and children are breathing, they simply wouldn't drink it.